Well, congratulations to Bari Weiss and all of her new employees at CBS News. Bari Weiss, for those who don't know, pro-Israel activist, opinion columnist, left the New York Times a few years ago, made a big deal out of it because the Times newsroom she felt was too woke and was hostile towards her. Founded the Free Press, which she painted as this heterodox website, when really it was just there to, mock so-called wokeness and promote Israel. And ever since the genocide in Gaza began, that's what the Free Press has done. Most recently, they went out of their way to try to deny famine in Gaza with multiple posts. And the point is here, they're an opinion site. It's not journalism. They don't really do reporting, but yet, because of the magic of our free market system, of the marketplace of ideas, the new owners of CBS News, the Ellisons, some of the richest people in the world who are avowed pro-Israel fanatics, basically handed over CBS News to Bari Weiss. And on Monday, after buying the Free Press for $150 million, the Ellisons also made Bari Weiss the new editor-in-chief of CBS News.
The new editor-in-chief of CBS News, Bari Weiss, introduced herself to CBS News staff in a way that distinctly recalled what Aaron referred to as the plot of a horror movie. She introduced herself and said she wants to win and restore trust. She said she was excited for staff to get to know the Free Press and ended her remarks by saying, "Let's do the effing news." There was a letter that was issued to all employees. Do we have that letter?
Yeah, well, here's a screenshot. Here, what's so funny about this is she claims to be a reporter, which she's just objectively not. Like, I'm going to approach my new job the way any reporter would, with an open mind, a notebook, and an urgent deadline. I'm paraphrasing there, but basically, it's like, this is the most unbelievable spectacle, or somebody with no experience, A, in broadcast news, which is what CBS News is, B, in actual journalism, because she's never been a reporter. She's an opinion columnist who then founded a website, the Free Press, that was, yes, it attracted a sizable number of subscribers, but its main source of support was from a cabal of pro-Israel billionaires who gave Bari Weiss a lot of money and have now been rewarded handsomely by the Ellisons. Now presiding over an entire news organization and presenting herself as some sort of objective truth teller when she's a pro-Israel activist / opinion journalist whose college years were spent trying to get Palestinian professors at Columbia University fired because she felt unsafe as a Jewish person on campus, thereby embodying the very same identitarian, so-called woke politics that she became famous for mocking.
Yeah, do we have that screenshot?
Well, I showed the screenshot of her saying I'm going to approach this as a reporter.
Yeah, as a reporter.
And here is here's more from her memo to colleagues today. Just imagine going to work and having to learn that this is your new boss and have them write stuff like this. This is from media reporter Max Tani. Bari Weiss.
I just read this.
Okay, well, she says, just reiterate, she wants to win, and she says, "Let's do the effing news." It's just like, this is like some pro.
It's like something from Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
Combined with Ken Kesey, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's like Nurse Ratched appears in Aaron Sorkin newsroom.
Or I'm thinking of like the Tom Hanks movie Big, where Tom Hanks becomes he's a child and now in a grown man's body. Now he's like an executive at a toy company, right? So this is kind of the same thing. It's like you have like an infantile person who's just whose identity is based around Jewish supremacy, Israel. Now I'm a media executive now. Let's do this. Like it's like being handed the keys to the kingdom, just by virtue of being a pro-Israel activist.
Let's just pan out a little bit and put this into a broader context. Sumner Redstone was a big media tycoon in the US. He owned like BET, even though he was a white Jewish man for years, and turned it into a trash den, got rid of the news. I mean, he played a role in he clearly was like attempting to poison black culture. It felt like he owned Paramount, and he died. He was a big donor to Israel, one of these that old generation of Zionist billionaires. His wife, Sherry Redstone, she's getting old. She is a ultra Zionist. She passes on Paramount to David Ellison through his company Skydance. David Ellison is the son and heir to the fortune of Larry Ellison, who's on the board of the Friends of the IDF and runs Oracle, which is planting data centers all around the country. Got its start as a CIA contractor. Larry Ellison's, to the extent anyone could be friends with Netanyahu, his friend has hosted him on his private Ellison's Island in Hawaii. And this is all part of an Israeli Netanyahu-directed takeover of as many media assets as they can grab, along with TikTok, which has been purchased by Larry Ellison and Andreessen Horowitz, of venture capitalists who also simultaneously have supported and invested in Bari Weiss and her career and her astroturfing her, basically using her as a vehicle for their agenda. Like the free press, Bari Weiss constantly promotes Mark Andreessen as some kind of genius when he himself turns to like Curtis Yarvin for insights on how to establish a techno dictatorship in the US. Ben Horowitz, his partner, is the son of David Horowitz, the former Trotskyist fanatical anti-Palestinian agitator who was like an early mentor to Charlie Kirk. So this is the takeover. They're going to make a bid, as we said last week, on CNN.
Yep.
And so now it's all going into, it's being implemented. Bari Weiss has been installed in the newsroom. Someone who's 41 years old, runs the Free Press, completely lies about the Free Press audience to justify the artificial valuation of Free Press at $150 million. I mean, go to their YouTube channel right now and compare it to our YouTube channel. Nobody's watching their content. And their studio, like, look at our studio. Like, I got these, these shelves from like, I don't know where I got them from, like Walmart. Look at Aaron's background, and then go look at their studios. Like, they have like, that shelf looks like you found it on the street. I mean, you find some good stuff on the street in Brooklyn.
I'm being offended. You're dissing my background.
No, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's fine. Okay. I'm down with it. This shows that we're real. This is like a real independent outlet, and we are heavily suppressed on YouTube. We're closing in on 500,000 viewers. I mean, we're doing like real like when we go out and report, like I'm holding my phone and a Bluetooth mic. Like the Free Press, it's like they have like CBS level production. Like that guy, the token guy that they have, Coleman, what's his name?
Coleman Hughes.
Mini Van Jones, I call him. Like, look at his studio, Conversations with Coleman. His studio is like elaborate. They have tons of money.
But let's not.
And they can't even get anywhere near the amount of subscribers we have. And then Bari Weiss is running around saying, we have 1.5 million subscribers, and that means 150 million subscribers. No, we have 6 billion subscribers, and that's why we get valued at 150 million. What should the value of the Grayzone be based on that? Because it turns out they don't have that many paid subscribers. How much should we get? Can some VCs buy the Grayzone?
Well, but it's not just about buying the Grayzone. It's then installing the founder of the Free Press as the head of CBS News, one of the biggest news corporations in the world. They have teams of reporters, not just in the US, but around the world, freelancers, producers. This is like a real deal operation. And Bari Weiss, opinion columnist, pro-Israel activist, now gets like, okay, like I'm the new editor in chief. Let's do this. And just to illustrate your point about the lack of audience. So Glenn Greenwald pointed this out. He posted the screenshot of Bari Weiss's announcement video that the Free Press is joining Paramount. And Glenn points out that after 8 hours, this video only had 16,000 views, which is like nothing. I think like a recent video I did on Syria, which is a relatively niche topic. Like not even all of our audience wants to watch videos about Syria. I think that had probably had more views after 8 hours than Bari Weiss announcing that her outlet is like joining this giant media conglomerate, and she's the editor in chief of CBS News. So, I mean, that just speaks to where things are at. But who was definitely very excited about this and was definitely tuning in is Israeli officials. Glenn also pointed this out. Here's Michael Oren, right? He's the former Israel ambassador to the U.S. right? My most heartfelt mazel tov to Bari Weiss, the embodiment of an Eshet Halil, a woman of valor, on her appointment as editor-in-chief of CBS News.
Where's the tweet?
She will bring, oh, I'm sorry. She will, there it is. She will bring journalism back from the brink and set renewed media standards of bipartisanship, excellence, and the relentless search for the truth. And there he is. He's the former Israeli ambassador to the U.S. Here's one more. This is
these are very indigenous looking people to the region, by the way.
Yes. This is Tal Heinrich. Thank you, Barry. This is a win for common sense, a win for intellectual discourse over an activist one. It's a win for a society that wants to be healthier. And who is Tal Heinrich? Spokesperson for the Israeli government.
She's the one who spread the lie about beheaded babies.
There you go. There you go. So yeah. And just one more word about, before we move on too far, about Sherry Redstone, who sold CBS News Paramount to the Ellisons. She said that the reason she sold CBS News, she wanted to focus her life now on Israel activism. And this is her post sale. This is a headline from Jewish Insider. Post Paramount sale, Sherry Redstone is full speed ahead on addressing anti-Semitism. So the money that she got from selling her news outlet, her father's news outlet, to the pro-Israel oligarchs, the Ellisons, she will now use to spread more Israeli propaganda on her own and hand over the reins to the Ellisons and Bari Weiss. And what is Bari Weiss? What is Bari Weiss going to do as the editor-in-chief of CBS News? I mean, they already have a president. She's reporting directly to Larry Ellison.
To David Ellison.
To David Ellison,
well,
sorry.
And therefore Larry Ellison.
Yes. So what does that mean? She's just going to be there to enforce the narrative, the Zion narrative, and to root out any employee who has critical thinking skills and is not willing to go along with the prevailing Hasbara.
Well, there's this whole mask to the Zionist propaganda, which is common sense and just the news. Like, we're just Walter Cronkite. We're not pushing woke propaganda, that the corporate media is supposedly too woke. And we're just going to speak to common sense Americans because it's crazy. We're not going to, tell you that we're not going to be reporting on trans kids and, girls, like men with penises going into women's locker rooms. Like, they're going to be against that. Masking 3-year-olds, they're going to be against that. And then they're going to tell you that there are not enough Jews being given special protections at Ivy League colleges.
Exactly.
And there isn't a Jews only DEI, and they're just going to take off the table any coverage of even the humanitarian situation in Gaza. It's going to become eventually too obvious. Also, what they're going to do is degrade the newsroom and transform it into a series of podcasts and a bunch of viral postings that will make it impossible for any actual news to be transmitted. And they're going to push on race, kind of an anti-BLM, large black men are stabbing our women in public transportation agenda. It's going to be that. It's going to be moderately pro-Trump. And it's also, but then behind that, there's a deeper scandal here, which ties into Zionism. And I tried to address that in a reply to Bari Weiss because she's making it too obvious what's going on here, which is the conflict of interest. There's a massive conflict of interest taking place here where she's actually maintaining the editorial role at the Free Press, which is a partisan neocon website, while controlling a legacy media asset, which is supposed to be objective. And we know the corporate media, we always say it's an enemy of the people, that they're not objective. They support the rich. They support war. They support Israel, but in a more insidious way than Bari Weiss will. But now the conflict of interest is out editorially, but also financially, because who has backed Bari Weiss as she made her comeback after the New York Times? It's been the AI warlords. It's the Palantir Mafia that has backed Bari Weiss. Joe Lonsdale, Palantir co-founder, is the chairman of her weird anti-woke University of Austin diploma mill where they study Plato alongside the Technological Republic by Palantir CEO Alex Karp, who is a trustee of this university, therefore supporter.
And who is a sociopath. I mean,
sociopath.
We've played the video before of Alex Karp, you know, where a Palestinian woman confronts him and says, like, your technology is killing my family in Gaza. And he laughs at her and says, no, it's actually Hamas that's killing.
Palantir's providing targeting in Gaza. They are like objectively involved in the genocide in Gaza, and they're backing Bari Weiss, along with David Sachs, who is another tech millionaire, a billionaire, who's in charge of steering AI and crypto policy in Trump's favor as Trump initiates various meme coin rug pulls on his suggestible base. She's been backed by Mark Andreessen, as I said before. And she promoted these figures on her podcast. So let me just like read this, spell this out, because this is like this is a corruption scandal that goes beyond the ideological component of installing a voice of Likudnik Zionism as editor. So Bari Weiss says, so much gratitude and love for so many today as she's installed as editor. Joe Lonsdale is at the top of the list. Joe Lonsdale, as I said, was one of the original 3 founders of Palantir, and he's backed her.
Max, try to zoom in on your screen if you can so we can all read.
Yeah. And so I responded as this way: even though no critical thinker trusts you or expects an ounce of accountability, some questions are in order. And these are the questions. Was Palantir co-founder Joe Lonsdale one of the investors who profited from the sale of Free Press to Paramount Skydance? What about David Sachs, a White House official who helped steer AI and crypto policy at the direction of Trump? Who are the investors who profited from the sale? How much did they earn? And will they continue to play a role now that you're at CBS? What sort of favors will they call in? Basically, you have an editor who's been backed by a Trump official and is continuing to be backed through the Free Press. And that Trump official may have actually made money off the sale. I would like to know if David Sachs was one of the investors who profited from the sale. That would be a direct violation.
Yeah, well, how would they not profit if they're the investors and the company gets sold for $150 million?
Right. I mean, their investment must have been very small compared to that.
Of course, because there's no way they're worth $150 million. A site with a few thousand subscribers is now worth $150 million. I mean, again, like as we talked about, there are podcasts, there are leftist podcasts with way bigger audiences, paying audiences than the Free Press has.
Yeah, Chapo Trap House dwarfs their audience.
Yeah, they'd be worth like 10 times that amount.
Even though they've never hosted us. Will 60 Minutes become a vehicle to propagandize for the ultra-Zionist AI warlords who astroturfed your career and artificially manufactured the $150 million valuation of the Free Press, whose middling YouTube viewership pales in comparison to the organic audience of actually independent news outlets and podcasts? Your conflicts of interest are off the charts. In fact, they seem to clearly violate the publishing principles of CBS News, which state the following: a conflict of interest exists when a CBS News and station's employee is in a position to make a business or news decision that might appear to result in some personal gain or advantage to them. It's clear you were installed at CBS not to restore public trust in the failing and odious corporate media, but to take these inconvenient issues off the table for the techno-feudal oligarchy and to shut down coverage of that nasty little Gaza Holocaust in which you helped get our friend Rifat Al-Arir killed. Many understandably lament your promotion, but I view it as a welcome mask off moment. And I really do welcome this because now we can see corporate media for what it really is and always has been. And I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think these will be happy times down the road for Bari Weiss and her ideological cabal. I think she's going to be exposed and it's going to be a rough go.
I mean, imagine working for her. I mean, there's going to be a rebellion from at least some people who have some dignity and some respect for the profession of journalism. There's a lot of people who work at CBS News. Not everyone's going to want to work for this person who's devoted her life to basically serving crypto billionaires and smearing critics of Israel and denying genocide and famine inside Gaza. And yes, inciting the murder of people like Rafat El-Arir. And I want to say a few words about, comparing your response, not just talking about the Gaza genocide, but actually raising, legitimate questions about a conflict of interest with Bari Weiss and her investors, who profiting off of the sale to the Ellisons. So compare your reaction to the comparison in corporate media. The same corporate media that Bari Weiss sort of made her name around mocking and claiming to be different from, by saying she was going to fight all the woke culture, she was going to be heterodox, she was going to fight the corporate media. That same corporate media that Bari Weiss made her name off of, distancing herself from, ostensibly, turned around and just did everything it could to kiss her feet up upon this announcement. Even though she mocked them, there's still ultimately so much class solidarity to like the higher power of like serving Israel and serving the oligarchs, that if you read the coverage in the New York Times, which Bari Weiss like publicly denounced and said, like, I have to leave this out, they presented her as like, oh, she's like a feisty scrap, entrepreneur who made her name. And like, CBS News is shaking things up by bringing her in. Brian Stelter of CBS News, similar thing, like CBS News, this is risky, but they're shaking it up. No, all they're doing here is trying to consolidate support for Israel because people are so repelled by it.
And the tech oligarchs.
And the tech oligarchs, exactly. So even the outlets that Bari Weiss tried to distance herself from and mocked as being too woke, they have so much ultimate class solidarity with the tech overlords, with the pro-Israel billionaires, that even they feel compelled to kiss the ring of Bari Weiss, even though she mocked them. Whereas with people, independent journalists like us, they won't even acknowledge that we exist. You know what I mean? Like, as you saw recently with your reporting on Charlie Kirk, which the New York Times, even in confirming some of the stuff that you reported, won't even acknowledge you. And I've had similar experiences with Russiagate where they won't even say my name. But with Bari Weiss, who openly mocks them and makes her name, her whole brand off of distancing herself from, they have to kiss the ring because ultimately they serve the same people.
Well, you're just jealous, according to Matt Taibbi.
Unfortunately, Matt Taibbi did say that the people who are critical of Bari Weiss are jealous losers. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to be in that position that she's in.
You wouldn't want to be the head of CBS News? Yeah, I don't think that would be very comfortable.
I'm actually doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
Good luck. Sure. Bari will be watching. No one will be watching CBS News though.
Well, listen, just a few more revelations about who the people are who brought in Bari Weiss to CBS News. So it's the Ellisons, right? At times the richest people in the world. Their company, Oracle, check out like what's been happening there. This is from Eli Clifton of Responsible Statecraft. He says, executives at Oracle, which is also the new owner of TikTok under the forced sale by Trump. But again, the Ellisons, which founded Oracle, now own CBS News. They're very outspoken in Israeli media about the company's mission to support the state of Israel, right? And this is what Eli Clifton also says. Insufficiently pro-Israel Oracle staff are sent for mental health counseling. Okay, so if you work at Oracle and you're deemed to be insufficiently supportive of Israel, they're going to send you to HR for mental health counseling. So is that ethos now going to be the norm at CBS News under Bari Weiss's reign? That if you don't support Israel, like say the journalist in Gaza that CBS News employs, they have a producer actually in Gaza who's filed some reports. Are they going to refer him now, if they don't fire him already, for mental health counseling?
You get a zyolobotomy.
It's a cult, and we're ruled by it. And they're not only very influential, they literally now control major elements of our media. They control TikTok, and they control TikTok because both of our ruling parties couldn't handle young people being shown images of the carnage in Gaza that our rulers were supporting. So they forced the sale of TikTok to pro-Israel oligarchs who send people for mental health counseling if they don't support Israel enough.
Maybe they'll pass a law and we'll finally get free mental health counseling in this country. That if you're an Israel critic, you have to go get Oracle provided electroshock therapy. It really is like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah. Here's another one from former Oracle CEO Safra Katz, which sounds like an Israeli name. We believe We believe we have to embed the love and respect for Israel in the American culture, according to former Oracle CEO Safra Katz. And so that's a refreshing admission from a tech overlord, that the only way to get people to love and respect Israel is to brainwash them. That's what she's talking about by embedding.
These emails are a treasure trove. We reported on some leaks that journalist Jack Paulson found at the Grayzone. We reported David Ellison basically collaborating with Benny Gantz, former Israeli defense minister, on a plan to spy on Americans who were involved in Palestine solidarity activism. This is the owner of CBS News. He's an Israeli spy, basically. You can read the article. It just doesn't get more blatant than this. That's the post-October 7th world we're living in, where everything is just blatant. The mask is off. There's no rules-based order anymore to conceal the jackboot in your face and the cold, dead hand of a rapacious empire. It's just all there for us to see. And in some ways, as unpleasant and alienating as it is, it's welcome to just see the world we live in as it is. The question is, as they buy one media property after another, including social media, and you see this happening in Ecuador, where billionaire president, Miami-born Daniel Noboa, is buying up all of the critical media. We've seen Erdogan and his AKP buy it up in Turkey. It's kind of a strategy. As they do that, where do we go? I mean, YouTube is controlled by a military contractor, Google. Twitter X, Elon Musk. A couple months ago, he launched it. I think it was 2 months ago. He launched an Israeli spy satellite into space through SpaceX. He's a defense contractor. We depend on those as platforms. So where do we go? That's the question. And the only answer I have right now is that people will leave TikTok and go somewhere else, and TikTok will suffer, and these properties will become toxic. They will not be revitalized.